Hello buddy, it's Bendominator, and today I'm going to be talking about LTMs in Fortnite and kind of my feelings about them and what I think they could do better with them. But of course, before we get into the video, if you are new here and you enjoy the content, be sure to subscribe, and you can also use my supporter creator code Bendominator when buying anything in the item shop. Thank you to everybody who uses that code, it really helps me out a lot. So yeah, LTMs in Fortnite, something that I often think about and often forget about as well at the same time. I feel like LTMs are a really great way to spice up the normal kind of Fortnite game flow. I just kind of wanted to talk about kind of a bit of the history of them before I get into my main points here. LTMs mainly started out as these kind of loot pool swaps, really. They mainly started out as kind of modes where they would kind of just change up the loot pool with modes like Sneaky Silencers and Solid Gold. Then they kind of get a little bit more interesting, with modes like Close Encounters adding jetpacks to the mix and mainly focusing on shotguns and stuff like that. But where LTMs mainly took a turn was Disco Domination, which was introduced in Season 6. This was the first limited time mode to feature respawns, and I think that really changed the landscape of the whole LTM scene after that. Because after modes like Disco Domination, we of course got modes like Team Rumble, Food Fight, and all kinds of stuff like that. And nowadays we're seeing all kinds of crazy wacky LTMs, some really cool, some not so cool, but for the most part, like, LTMs have improved a whole lot. It seems to me like they're focusing more so on a bit like a round system now for LTMs. We've been seeing a lot of LTMs that have been focusing on multiple rounds and kind of like tournament style things. Especially with the superpower LTMs, we really got an idea of how they can make like fun little tournaments inside of these modes. And now we're seeing modes like the Smash Bros mode where you have to knock players out into the storm and there's multiple rounds, and the person who wins the most rounds ends up getting the victory royale. And I think it's just really interesting to see kind of it turn from being like different changes to the loot pool from BR to honestly feeling like a completely different game. You've also got so many fun LTMs that were introduced when they added cars, including Rally Royale and the Taxi Royale. I forget what it's called. I think it's called something else, but the Taxi mode, which honestly is one of my favorite LTMs of Fortnite. It's one of the most interesting things, and it kind of first started the idea of NPCs and stuff. I just think that mode is so much fun, and I really do like it. But part of me wishes they kind of went back to doing the loot pool swap LTMs. Some of my favorite LTMs are modes like Solid Gold, Sneaky Silencers, and stuff like that. I really do hope that sometime they go back to modes like that. Things like Unvaulted and stuff are also really fun. It's just, for me, it's probably the best way to bring back fan favorite items without making the game too unbalanced. Because for me in an LTM can be as unbalanced as you want it to be. LTMs don't have to be competitively viable. You know, LTMs I feel like are really just pure fun, and they don't really need to have any balancing with them at all. It's fun to just throw in some random fan favorite items and see what players do. I feel like it would be really fun to get more of those LTMs returning. But at the same time, I really do love the unique LTMs that we've been seeing. And then also, I wanted to talk about the Spy Games LTMs. These are probably people's least favorite LTMs, but they really did change a lot about LTMs and how they've been handled recently. Spy Games kind of introduced the idea of different game modes in Fortnite and how they would be handled. It almost felt like a creative game mode within Fortnite. And that leads me to my major point of this video. So Fortnite's been releasing these creative mode LTMs recently, and the most recent one being the Spy Within LTM, and all these LTMs are made entirely within creative, which got me thinking, can't they just make all their LTMs in creative? Like, why can't Fortnite make a ton more creative made LTMs and just have them like that? And especially with the new creative mode coming out, they can make tons of stuff. And that also got me thinking, with the entirely new Creative 2.0 coming out, that they could be featuring LTMs like that, and we could be making LTMs of our very own inside Fortnite. I'm just thinking, we have the creative tools there, we have all this stuff, why not boost creative, give it a bit more popularity, and make a ton more LTMs in creative mode? Like the Smash Bros LTM, like all these other kinds of LTMs, give us the tools to make them in creative. We already have the tools to make a ton of these in creative. I just think it would be really cool to kind of support creative a bit more and just give us all these different kinds of LTMs and give us all these different kinds of fun modes within creative. It would also kind of spark a bit more kind of creativity within the community when it comes to those kinds of maps. I just think that would kind of give the creative community a big push in the right direction when it comes to making smaller limited time modes and just making things that are more unique and things that are kind of, I mean, just a little bit more fun sometimes. Sometimes people just don't want to play the same exact box fight maps over and over again, or mini BRs and stuff like that. Giving us a whole ton of ideas through these creative LTMs could really boost the creative community and make the scene a bit more unique. But overall, I think LTMs are kind of headed in a really cool direction. But yeah, overall, LTMs have been a great inclusion from the very start of Fortnite, and they have only been getting better. But if creative was able to do these kind of things and they featured a bit more creative LTMs, I think it would really spark the creative community, and it would just make Fortnite a lot more unique. But anyway guys, that's about going to be it for the video. Again, if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, use my supporter creator code Bendominator in the item shop, and subscribe if you're new. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.